Lee, wake up. It is time for your first day of your new school.
Huh? Is it already the first day of my new school?
Yes, it is. Come down to the kitchen so you can eat breakfast.
Oh no. There is no way that I'm ever going to go to that school. This school is more like a prison for me.
Well, you're going to school whether you like it or not, as it is required by law to attend school. Come down to the kitchen now.
Good morning. What are your names?
Sophia Smith.
Lee Smith.
William Smith.
Charlie Smith.
Archie Smith.
Amelia Smith.
All right, I will let the principal know that you are here. Hello, is this Mrs. Mavling? Yes, the Smith family is here. All right, I will send them in now. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, I will show you to the conference room. Follow me.
Hello there, Lee, Charlie, Amelia, Archie, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Welcome to Goanimate City Public Schools. Before we start the conference, we will be introducing ourselves, as we haven't met ourselves before. I'll start. My name is Mrs. Mavling, and I am the principal of Goanimate City Public Schools.
My name is Mr. Winston, and I'm the vice principal here.
My name is Mrs. Murray Powell, and I'm the other vice principal here, where I team up with Mr. Winston.
My name is Mr. Mitchell, and I am your assistant principal here.
All right, as we have just introduced ourselves, I'm going to give you your student identification cards, or simply student IDs. We've already created your student IDs from your student portraits which we have received from your old schools.
Each of you will also receive a copy of the student handbook where important information, rules, and policies at this school are there. It also houses information where you can check your children's grades online.
As the four of you have decided to keep your school laptop from your old schools, you will not receive a laptop specifically designed for the students here, as we have taken over ownership of all of your laptops. You are allowed to take it home for the rest of the school year.
As you have been transferred here from a different school, you will be assigned to different classes than in your previous school. Charlie, you will be assigned to Class 5B, where your class teacher will be Mrs. Bigsworth. Lee, you will be assigned to Class 9A, where your class teacher will be Mrs. Lauren.
Yay. At least I get to be with my friends, Arnold and Kaylee.
Lee, that's not the correct time you should be excited for, as you will not be able to sit next to Arnold or Kaylee for the rest of the school year, and this applies to all of your classes you have with the pair of them.
Fine.
Anyway, as I've left off, Amelia, you will be assigned to Class 12D, where your class teacher will be Mrs. Shelby. And Archie, you will be assigned to Class 13E, where your class teacher will be Mr. Johnston. I'm going to send you an email containing the schedules for each of your classes.
Your grades you earned from your classes at your former school will count for 40% of your final grade, and the grades you earn from your classes here for the rest of the school year will also count for 40% of your final grade, and your final exams will count for 14% of your final grade.
Anyway, if there is nothing else to discuss, then we can end this meeting. Any questions?
Yes. Lee, Archie, and Amelia all have their driving licenses.
All right, then they can drive themselves to school. However, they need to have a parking permit in order to park in the student parking lot. You will need to fill out an application form for the parking permit and pay the parking fee, which is £5 per month, and then we will give you the parking permit. Here are your parking permit applications.
Oh yeah, and I totally forgot about that. We have received word from your old school that you have been given detention and in-school suspension there, after you have clogged most of the toilets there. As you have already served most of your in-school suspension online, you will be given 4 hours of after-school detention every day until Wednesday, starting on Monday. Your remaining time in in-school suspension will be turned into an 8-hour Saturday detention which you will be serving in your classroom, as the in-school suspension room is being refurnished and expanded to provide more students in the in-school suspension room.
And since I don't think we have any more questions, we can just end the conference now. Feel free to go home now, and Lee, go to your first period class.
Good morning, class. I would like to let you know that we will be having a new student which will be joining our class. He should be coming in any minute now. That must be him. Come in, please. Hello there. You must be Lee Smith, the new student.
That's right.
Well, hello then, Lee. My name is Mrs. Lauren, and I will be your class teacher. You can take that empty seat just next to Jameson.
I guess.
Anyway, why don't you introduce yourself to the class?
No, I would rather not.
Come on, it won't be that hard.
Fine, you win. Hello, my name is Lee Smith.
Where did you move here from?
I just moved here last month from Portsmouth.
Is there anything else you want to say?
I just want to get out of this stupid school nonsense. I've only been in here for less than 10 minutes and I'm sick and tired of this place.
Oh, come on. Please don't be so negative.
Fine, can I sit down now?
Sure, you can, Lee. All right, class, we will be continuing with the stuff we've left off on Friday with the past tenses.
But Mrs. Lauren, I didn't learn about past tenses in my former school.
Just try to follow along as best as you can. If you still don't understand, you can just see me after class and I'll help to make you understand. Okay, I've given you all a worksheet you'll have to complete during the lesson. If you don't, it's homework for you.
Okay, you know what? This worksheet.
Lee, you are not supposed to throw your worksheet into the bin. That was naughty of you to do that. That's it. I'm going to give you a detention for that manner.
No, there's no way that I'm getting detention. And you can't even make me.
Lee, stop having that attitude right now. I don't tolerate temper tantrums in my classroom.
Then you know what? That's it.
That does it, Lee. Get out of my classroom and go to the principal's office. I'm so fed up with your attitude.
No, you can't make me go to the principal's office and get punished at my first day here.
Well then, how about I call security and make them escort you to the principal's office?
I don't care what you say.
Hello, is this security? Yes, this is Mrs. Lauren. I need a security officer to my classroom 2.01. Thank you, goodbye.
You're coming with me. Oh, and you better clean up that mess first.
Fine.
Come with me to the principal's office.
Hello, Lee. What brings you in my office today?
He threw one of his worksheets in the bin, threw a temper tantrum, and threw a paper ball at Mrs. Lauren during his English class. Therefore, she kicked Lee out of her class.
Oh really? Lee, you haven't even been at this school for 15 minutes and you are already causing trouble here.
Yes, and Mrs. Lauren kicked me out of her class for that after I was angry at her when I refused to do the English worksheet.
That type of behavior is unacceptable and I'm going to have to punish you for that. I'm going to give you a lunch detention, which will be on Wednesday. As Mrs. Lauren has kicked you out of your English class, you will be receiving an in-school suspension until you have finished your English worksheet which you threw away, as you will have to redo the worksheet and in-school suspension.
No, I'm not going to go to detention and in-school suspension.
Okay, you know what? How about we make it to an in-school suspension for the rest of the school day instead?
Nope. There's no way I'm ever going to in-school suspension. And you can't make me.
Then I'll make it lunch detention every day for the rest of the week in addition to your one-day in-school suspension, and it is supposed to start now.
You know what, that's it.
Lee Gabriel Smith, how dare you slap me in the face like that? That behavior is absolutely prohibited at this school. That's it. If you ever dare to slap me in the face like that again, then I will immediately call the police on you and have them arrest you. Lee, I'm going to turn your in-school suspension into an out-of-school suspension, and give you an extra week of that, making it a 14-day out-of-school suspension. I will be calling your parents about that, and we'll be having a conference with me, Mrs. Lauren and your parents. Mr. Winston, Mrs. Murray Powell and Mr. Mitchell will not be joining this time, as they are in a meeting with the other principals of the Goanimate City School District.
All right, what did our son do this time?
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you will not believe what happened. Apparently, Lee has misbehaved at the first day here. In his English class with his class teacher, Mrs. Lauren, he threw away his English worksheet he was supposed to work on. Then, he had a temper tantrum as he didn't want to follow her orders. Then, he threw another paper ball, this time to Mrs. Lauren's face. He still didn't follow her orders and called security. In fact, even if he was only 30 minutes at this school, he was still given in-school suspension until he has completely redone the worksheet. He also received lunch detention on Wednesday. He didn't listen to my orders as well, so I extended his in-school suspension for the rest of the school day. He was still causing a tantrum in my office and had to make his lunch detention extend for the rest of the week, which was supposed to start today. Then, he has slapped me in the face, which was the worst he did today. Because of this, I gave him 7 days of out-of-school suspension, and I turned his in-school suspension into an out-of-school suspension as well and gave him an extra 6 days of it, making it 14 days in total. And if he ever slaps me in the face again, I'll immediately call the police and have them arrest you. Honestly, I didn't expect him to be that bad, but that was unfortunately true. I can already tell you that we have students worse than that here.
Are you serious? I cannot believe you did so much on the first day here. Are you high on drugs and alcohol on what? Answer me right now.
In fact, his worksheet which he has to redone will be done in his out-of-school suspension. I also want him to write an apology letter both to me and Mrs. Lauren, and it must be at least 100 words long, and must be handwritten. Also, because of Lee slapping me in the face, I also want him and your family to pay £250 for that.
Are you serious right now, Lee? You will so be getting into trouble when we get home.
Anyway, if there's nothing else to discuss, then we'll end the conference now. Lee, go home right now, and don't return until your 2-week out-of-school suspension has ended.
Come on, Lee, let's go home right now.
You're in serious trouble, young boy.
Lee Gabriel Smith, we can't believe you threw your English worksheet away, threw a temper tantrum at school, threw a paper ball at Mrs. Lauren, and slapped Mrs. Mavling in the face. Thanks to you, you have a 2-week out-of-school suspension along with a fine which we have to pay. You are literally high on drugs and alcohol, young man. I can already tell you that you will be going into drug testing in the police station on Friday.
That's it. When we get home, you will be grounded. I will tell you more once we are home.
All right, since we are home now, we will tell you more about your grounding. You are grounded until we figure out how to pay your fines, and until your suspension is over. And while you are grounded, you will be eating nothing but lumpy potatoes for every meal including dessert, have workout punishments, and have belt whoopings during that time. Get upstairs to your room right now and start working on your apology letter and English worksheet.
Wow.
And you better stop crying like a motor car right now. If you don't, we'll turn you into one and make you so rusty so that no one will ever buy you.